How y'all doing? How's my soul brothers and sisters out there doing? As I said, I'll be right back at you. This is for us, to us. Well, I want to give a little recap on what I mentioned on my last video about our language and how we need to use clean, appropriate language. And this will help us to be understood better, and it will definitely help our youth with the right vocabulary. I then also mentioned at the last video about the senseless shootings that keep occurring in our community, the black on black crime, the black boys, black men killing each other. And that's sad because like I said, we're not that big. Our population is not that big. But I'll go more into that a little later in another video. But today, I want to know how y'all feeling. How y'all doing from head to toe? How y'all feeling? Are you taking care of your mind and your body? Because I want to talk about our well being. This is what I'm going to talk about today, our well being. This is how I want to talk about how we take care of ourselves, because we need to do that before we can help anybody else. I'm going to start with our bodies. We need nutritional, fresh foods. And I know it's hard to find these days because things are just not the same in our society. Our soil is full of pesticides. Our water quality is not good. Because of the bottles and the plastics, our air is not good. Folks having a lot of bronchial issues and asthma issues. So if you can garden, that would be the way to go. Gardening is the way to go if you can. We have to try to do the best we can with what we have. Now, I'm not a nutritionist, but I do want to suggest that we eat more vegetables, more fruit. I know fruit has a natural sugar, but it's still good, I believe, to eat more fruit, veggies, and proteins. And I do know we need to eat in moderation. That is very important to eat in moderation. We don't want to eat too many sugary foods, greasy foods, carbs, starchy foods. We want to kind of stay away from a lot of that stuff. And I know most grocery stores in our area, the urban areas, are not don't have really good food quality, good big selection, and a lot of times the prices are just way too high. That they're just way too high. But do the best you can with what you got, but make sure you're eating a nutritional meal. And I know there's a lot of diets out there. I don't want to tell everybody, what they should and should not eat because I don't know everybody's health situation. I don't know if you're on meds or, what your situation is, but try to eat the best you can for your well being and keep your weight under control. Because once you start getting too heavy, it affects different joints, your knees, your hips, your back. So we want to keep our weight kind of in spectrum. So also, because we need to see a healthcare provider too before we do anything, because like I said, I don't know what your if you're on medications or things like that. So make sure you see your health provider. But eating shouldn't be too much of a problem because as long as you watching what you do. Because I know when I Googled, Mr. Google said that us black women, we are 4 out of 5 of us are overweight. We're obese. So we got to try to get that number way less. Also, I would suggest that we take a daily multivitamin. I think multivitamins are very good, especially as we get older. I think it's important, even young, but older especially. I think we need just a vitamin. And we need to also take care of our minds. Our minds and souls interact. So our mind is very critical that we try to be still. We take some quiet time for ourselves. We meditate on good, positive things. We watch positive things. We take deep breaths. It's good to take deep breaths and count for a few seconds and release. That relieves a lot of our stress. We need to encourage ourselves. That's important. Talk to yourself. People used to laugh about that, talking to yourself, but talking to yourself is good. Long as you're saying good things and speaking well, that'll go into your soul. And we also need to assemble together. Assembling together is very good where we can praise, we can worship, we can encourage each other. We need to create a gratitude journal that, about all of our things that we are grateful for. And that's important to always remember and appreciate what we have and be grateful for it. We need to memorize a scripture a month because I truly believe the word of God planted in our soul will also help and strengthen our minds. We need to read our Bible. Read your Bible on a daily a lot of times. We need that. We definitely need that joy of the Lord in our spirit too. We need to exercise. It's good to exercise, take a walk, do some stretching, get our body moving. That's another thing that'll definitely help our mind. We need to volunteer and help others. Because when we see other people and what they're going through, we can appreciate our lives because there's always somebody out there worse than us. We need to do fun activities. Always try to be, have fun in your life, joy in your life. That's important. Take a class, listen to uplifting music. Because like I said before, that rap and all of that foolishness and nastiness, flip them, lick them, stick them. No, no. Now, if at home with your husband or wife, that's something. But on a normal day-to-day basis, it's good to just listen to uplifting music. We need to create our own playlist because a lot of this stuff on this radio is not pleasing, and it'll have you feeling low. And we want to feel uplifted. And we want to read helpful things that are going to build us up, that are going to help our mind, that's going to do something to make us better. Always trying to do better. Every day should be a betterment. Actually, I have a friend, she just came out with a book, and it's called Abba's Daughter. And it's a very, very good book about 14 courageous women. And they're sharing their personal testimonies about where God has brought them and how faithful God has been in their lives. I'm really impressed because I believe, they were really open and honest, about the things that they've struggled with in life. And I believe it will truly bless other people, women especially, about stories that we can all relate to. And they relate their stories into women compared to the women in the Bible. So just find some upliftment in books, that's going to stimulate your mind, not just with love stories and all of that. That's fun, but always try to do something for your betterment. I was at a park one day, and there were three pastors out there speaking, and they were talking about how they had nowhere to go, when they're down or broken or things are happening in their lives that, they were struggling with. And they were saying how they just don't have anyone. So, men, I know we were taught, and, this week, and, don't speak of your feelings and keep your business to yourself and all of that. But that's we were taught a lot of things that weren't correct, and it's very important to be able to find somebody that you can trust and speak about your hurt and pain, because that's true healing. And women too, we need that too. We're pretty good at talking. We're pretty good at that. So get calling our girls, but just make sure it's somebody that's going to give good sound uplifting and advice that's going to be helpful. So it's very important when you get counsel, it has to be wise counsel. Also, I want to talk about also my experience when I had my son. I have a son, and I had him in 2009, and I suffered from postpartum depression. And I suffered for that for about 4 years. I was hospitalized, and I was going around sharing my story with other women, because I was going to a support group way out in the suburbs. I didn't see anybody that looked like me, and I don't think they really could relate to really what I was going through. And so I would tell other women, and especially black women, about my situation. And they would go, wow, I experienced that. I had that. I couldn't get up out of the bed. I was crying, because I felt like I couldn't hold my son. And I felt like I just was just going to break, jump out of the window. It was just really bad. So my GYN, she said, hey, we're going to put you in the hospital. And actually, that was the best thing she did. I was there for a couple of weeks. It was the best thing she did. She's actually saved my life, and I was in a place where I was able to speak in a group. I was able to do projects. I was able to take breaks and look at movies and play games. It was just like being on a retreat. I know people think of hospitals as being like in an orange suit and with people's tongues hanging out. But the time I was there in 2009, it wasn't like that at all. It was nothing. Food was awesome. The staff were awesome. The group sessions were awesome. I was on meds. I was on meds for the 4 years, for 4 years to help me through my anxiety. My family, I wish could have understood a little bit better, what I was going through. But a lot of times people just don't understand postpartum and depression and anxiety. Even the doctors sometimes don't even understand it. But it's a real illness and it's serious because people have killed children because of this. So it's real, So please, if you're struggling, talk to somebody, like I said, who you trust. Go get help from the hospital, from the doctor. Don't be scared. Don't feel shame. It can happen to any of us, and it has happened to me. And so yes, please see about yourself because your loved ones need you. And because I work in the healthcare industry, I see a lot of anxiety and depression, you know, within the hospital. And a lot of people, especially now, are suffering more than ever. And I'm glad people are starting to talk about it more. And it's not as stigmatized. I know in our race, it's really has been stigmatized, because we're supposed to be so strong. The woman's supposed to be so strong. The man's supposed to not tell his business. And we're suffering in silence. And we don't want to do that. So please seek help. Talk, 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 talk. Because if not, we'll be lashing out in anger. And that's what I believe is happening. We're lashing out in anger. We're frustrated because of our traumas and all of that. I want to read over a couple of things that I believe need to be taught because trauma is serious and that can bring on a lot of things too. We've had emotional abuse. We've had physical abuse. Some of us have been sexually abused. A lot of emotional abuse, neglect, physical neglect. We had household substance abuse, household mental illness, our parents, our siblings. We have parental separation, losses, divorces, deaths, incarcerated parents and people, bullying by other people and children and older adults. We witness violence in the black community that's very, very common to witness shootings and children, witnessing their loved ones being shot right before them or, going to so many funerals for the youth in the black community. We've experienced racism, sexism, all kind of forms of discrimination. We've been homeless. Natural disasters have come upon us. Our fathers and mothers have sometimes turned their backs on us. We all been through something. and hurtful, that has broken us. So it's okay to talk. We need to talk. Start a group. Go to clergy. Go to your healthcare provider. Go to the social worker to try to find you some help. Stop suffering in silence. Please get on medication if you need to. To date, I found myself really, when I struggle with things, I really find myself drinking a lot of chamomile tea. I drink a lot of chamomile tea when I'm feeling heavy. Teas are good. You know, so just make sure you can find the meds, the tea, the anything that besides alcohol and substances that will calm you down, to make your mind where it's still reasonable. Because a lot of those different substances, weed and drinking and all of that kind of stuff, messes with your brain even more. And then if you're on medications and you're not feeling well, that can interfere and make things even worse. Drinking, we don't want things even worse than what we have. And if you don't have any insurance, please, find a job. Jobs, a lot of these jobs, they do have insurance. If you can work, try to get a job. Sometimes you can go in different communities. They do have free dental and health insurance and eye clinics. You can call 211. It's normally in every area, and they can refer you out to different resources to try to get you some medical help. But keep pushing. Keep on calling. Keep getting on their nerves until you get and seek the help that you need. Don't stop. Don't quit. Some heart is going to be open to receive and help you. Okay. There's also family service agencies. Used to be now welfare agencies. They're called family service agencies. They sometimes have resources. Medicaid, Medicare. And like I said again, don't mix alcohol with other stuff like drugs and vaping and other stuff. It just, like I said, just your mind will be not the same. Okay, and we want to keep our minds right. And we need to get our mammograms. We need to get our pap smears, our eye exams. And males, definitely get your prostate. Prostate is important for you to check that out. Because a lot of men, they get up in age and they get that prostate cancer, and that can be corrected if caught early. A lot of things can be corrected if caught early. Colonostomies, a lot of things. I know. I remember one time I was suffering from an illness, and to this day I still don't know what it is, but I had a real serious illness, and I had gone to the doctor, and the doctor was like, "It's a blessing." He even said it's a blessing that you came, and I was there for almost a week. And still to this day, don't know what I had, but it was. I remember seeing heavy duty drug dripping from a bag, and I rem, you and it was scary. And he said a lot of us Black African American people, we wait until it's too late to come in and see about ourselves, and by the time we get there, he said there's nothing he can do, nothing he can do. So if you feel and see your body out of whack, go see about it. Don't try to self-diagnose yourself by looking on. I mean, those YouTube, Google and stuff is good, but almost all of that stuff, first thing they say is cancer. So just this, it's okay to kind of look, but make sure you go and get yourself checked. That is important. Don't self-diagnose, because we're not doctors and we don't know. And I know a lot of people are scared of doctors, but before you go, you pray and ask the Lord to send you a good doctor, a good somebody that's going to treat you well and care and get you the best service. Pray. I recommend that. I truly recommend you pray. And also, we need to get a blood pressure cuff. Make sure you have a blood pressure cuff to check your blood pressure. Because with all these strokes and heart attacks and blood clotting, we need to know what our blood pressure is. Learn how to read it. They can Google that. Everybody else on YouTube looking at all kinds of stuff. Google how to check your blood pressure, and make sure you have a cuff and get that checked. And if nothing else, please go at least once a year. I know we're scared of doctors, but we need to go at least once a year to get blood work. Our blood tells us a lot. You can determine almost everything with your blood. So it's critical. If you don't do anything else, please make it at least once a year to go get your blood checked. Okay. Also, vaccines. I know we grew up on vaccines. I know I'm in my mid 50s, and we grew up on vaccines, and our parents gave them to us. But I don't know what's going on today. But they still do have vaccines because I don't have a little one. But I advise anybody that's getting anything to research. Know your body. Know when your body is out of whack. Study your body, and any vaccines, just research, because that COVID-19 shot came about, and to me everything's been off kilter since that shot. We've had an increase in blood clots, increase in strokes, increase in heart attacks. It's just been an increase. And my opinion is that COVID-19 affects everybody differently. Some people have died. Some of my relatives have passed. I know people who have passed from that COVID-19. So it's a very serious situation. So, and it affects everybody differently, because I had it twice, and I'm still having lingering things. I would get fatigue. I gasp for air. I have joint pain. I know people who still have a lingering cough. So some things just still linger in your body. And I do believe if you have an underlying condition, I believe it could make things worse. So always, if you had COVID especially, please watch your body. If you feel weird any kind of way, because whatever you may have been suffering before the COVID, that COVID and that vaccine or whatever could make that potentially worse. So always pay attention to that, because this is a new illness and they're still trying to figure it out. Or not telling us, I don't know. But anyway, we don't know enough about it. So make sure, if you had it, to make sure you pay attention to your body. Okay, and also because I know that LeBron James' son, and that Damlin. I'm not a sports person. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but that Damlin, what is his name? Damar Hamlin. Damar Hamlin. He when they all collapsed on the field. Lots of fit, in shape athletes, strong people falling, just falling down. So be aware of what, just be aware of your body, and what it's doing, and pay attention. Because, okay. And also, lastly, before I end this, I want to talk about us having advanced, we all have to leave here. We are going to leave this earth. Okay. And so we need to prepare for end of life. I know we don't like talking about it. And I know but we do. We need to talk about it, because it's the inevitable. Okay. And we need to have an advance directive. And I'm going to read you a little bit about what an advance directive is. Advance directives are a way to make your wishes heard when you are no longer able to do so. Okay, so advance directive will enable you to appoint someone to make your health care decisions for you, and you are no longer to administer or withhold treatment or procedures. Advance directives are not just for the elderly. They actually are for individuals 18 years and older who desire to direct their medical care in the future should complete an advance directive. And it will go right into your medical chart. So if you become incoherent, can't speak, can't, do anything, you have your wishes in place. Okay, and it is also important for you to discuss your healthcare desires with both your physician and your family. Your physician can help you phrase your request that makes sense for other physicians and can answer any questions you may have. Okay. Okay, and if you have discussed your wishes with a number of people, it is more likely that those wishes will be honored. So let people know it's not a secret. Don't be scared. Any and everybody can get sick. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. Okay, and then you want to have a living will. Okay, that's a written statement which tells healthcare providers what type of life prolonging treatments to perform if you have a terminal condition or are in a persistent vegetative state. Okay? Living will shall not be confused. That's not a regular will. A living will only deal with and address issues regarding your medical care while you are still living. Okay? So you'll still be living. And you also need a medical power of an attorney. This is a legal document which allows you to select any person to make medical decisions for you should you become temporarily or even permanently unable to make those decisions for yourself. This person can be referred to as your attorney in fact. Okay, but it is not necessary for you to have a lawyer. You don't have to have a lawyer for this. These are things you can do on your own. So don't think it's going to cost you a whole lot of money. This is something you can prepare. Ask the medical team, medical staff, when you go to the doctor every year, when you get to, not every year, you don't have to ask for this, but when you go to the doctor, which you should be going every year to get that blood work done, like I said, and you ask them about these things. Because if you also want to know, you want to put in there if you want to be resuscitated or not. Okay, so a DNR is a do not resuscitate. That means your doctor. So that means if you can't breathe or do you want them to try to give you CPR? Do you want to try to be intubated, which is a tube trying to help you breathe, or do you want be on a ventilator? Those are things we need to prepare and discuss for before the situation happens, because nobody's exempt. Okay, and so that is what we need to do. Also, we need to talk about skilled nursing, because I don't know anybody who's gotten to be elderly age and didn't need any help. Okay, we all need some help at some point somewhere. Okay, so we need to talk about some skilled nursing. We need a regular will, skilled nursing, or a nursing home. See, a nursing home is different than skilled nursing, because a nursing home is a permanent residence for people in need of 24/7 care. Now, skilled nursing is a facility for temporary residence for patients undergoing medically necessary rehabilitation treatment. It's like if you're being in the hospital, you'll be in and out, and there's like nurses that'll help you. And so when you're recovering after an illness, an injury, or surgery like a stroke or heart attack, anything like that, and you need daily medical care and treatment, the skilled nursing is good to have. So I'm giving you these tips and these tools to help you. Now, if we can buy Michael Jordan gym shoes, we can get on that fan page and look at garbage. Okay, we can take care of our bodies and our health and our end of life things. Okay, this is what I want us as African Americans to sit and be prepared when things happen. Because unfortunately, our culture we don't have longevity a lot of times in our culture as a whole. Okay, so we definitely don't need to be running around talking about GoFundMe and all of this kind of stuff. We need to be prepared. Okay, so I'm sending you this with love and peace. Okay, upon you all. So I know I took up a little more time than I normally do, because I try not to talk too long, because I know my attention span not that good, so I don't like to hold anybody too long. But I felt like this was a well needed subject today that we needed that I felt needed to be discussed with you all. Okay, I hope this has been a help and a benefit to someone, some families, to be prepared. Okay, all right. So I double dog dare you to prepare yourself for what might can happen. And what will happen is we're going to all leave here. So I'm leaving you with that because our culture is rich. And until next time, rise up with DP. Thank you.